Hello there, my lads, and welcome to another episode of News from the Gelding. I didn't have time to do a review this week, but I've got a little bit of artwork to show you. But first of all, I'm just going to let you know that tonight there will be the promised live stream, the Wood live stream, whereby we shall be doing various things. There's going to be a competition which will be done in live. It will be done live, whereby I've got 3 copies of my last book, Dark Matter, which is a series of science fiction short stories. Got 3 of those to give away, so anyone who drops by and leaves a comment, they'll be put into the mix, and I'll draw them out and I'll send them to wherever you happen to be in the world, and it will be signed also with perhaps even an imprint of my penis. They won't have that. But anyway, there'll be various other things. I've got 3 interesting ales to partake of. I'm going to sniff the hell out of them, then drink them, and slowly but surely become inebriated. So if you'd like to join me, please purchase a few tipples and ideally light a satanic candle or a votive one, whatever you wish, and we shall together attempt to transcend this mortal plane of existence and go somewhere else, hopefully a better place. But anyway, there we are. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. So please, that's going to be at 9 o'clock tonight, GMT. The only other thing I wanted to say before we get to the artwork is I've also got a retro gaming channel. I don't know if anyone knows about it. If you like me rambling and also playing games really shittily, then that is the channel for you. I've been doing it for almost as long as this channel, and I get roughly 1 subscriber every 6 months. I'm not looking for subscribers. I'm just saying if you like that kind of thing, it's there. I mean, some people may not know about it. I've lost all hope of growing that as a channel, but I keep doing it because I just love playing games and just recording them. A bit of a pervert that way. Anyway, there's one other bit of news. My car failed its MOT. So in the UK, every year your car has to be tested by a mechanic to see if it's still roadworthy. Oh, for God's sake. And my car failed dramatically this time. It's passed the last 3 years, but this time I had a feeling it was going to die, and it did. Despite the fact that it runs perfectly well. Starts every time, nothing wrong with it whatsoever, but even so, got a long list of things that are apparently wrong with it, and I've got to pay over £800 to fix it. So I've bit the bullet and we're going to get the work done, but I'm going to get the car back, which is a shit car anyway. I mean, I've been persevering with it just because it's reliable, but it's powered by maybe 2 rubber bands. It's a 1 litre engine. It barely gets up hills, and I want to punch it on a daily basis, and there's moss growing on various parts of it. Incidentally, it didn't fail on the moss growing on there, which actually looks quite beautiful in a zen-like Japanese garden way. But apparently one of the wheels needs changing, so one of the wheels may have fallen off one day. I only drive the bloody thing to the supermarket and occasionally to Cornwall to see my parents, or I don't know, a bit of dogging on the side. But other than that, I hardly drive the thing. Anyway, let's get to the business end of today's episode. So I've only done 1 painting. I haven't done any painting for ages, but I thought I'd better get the brushes going again because I'm going to have to do the cover painting for my new book. That's it there. It's just a toned canvas, but I've worked up a composition for that, and I'm ready to transfer it to the canvas, and then we'll start painting. But I need to get my hand in once more, so I painted this one. I finished this one. So this one is actually for my father, Martin. He expressed interest in this when I last showed it, and I've added to it. So I'll pop like I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do an enlargement of it or whatever. So I'll just talk over the top of this. So hopefully we'll do a quick progression here of the various stages. I didn't like it initially, but I just kept adding to it, and eventually we ended up with this purpley thing with a pink view through the middle, looking very similar to a vagina. And then so I wanted in the background for there to be a nice pop of colour, so I've put in these various colourful ribbons or whatever the hell they are, which look okay, I suppose, against that pink background. I do like that pop of colour, and the colour that kind of shines out for me was the yellow. So I just on impulse, just on a spontaneous decision on the spot, I decided to add that yellow light to these various extrusions, parting this fabric away from the other reality beyond. And it works, I think it works better. So obviously yellow and purple are very nice bedfellows. They go together very well indeed. So I think it works okay. I've also added some more shadow to make those objects pop out a bit more. But anyway, that's finished. And if you still want it, Dad, let me know and it's yours. Otherwise, don't worry if you don't. Or pop it on eBay and it can sit there merrily for the rest of time. Yeah, no, paintings aren't selling well this year. So last year I sold, I don't know how many I sold. I sold quite a few. How many? Well, I was selling at least one or two every month. Yeah, so it was around the 20 mark, I suppose. This year I've only sold 2, and I sold another one to my dad as well. So that's 3 this year. Incidentally, my father is one of my main patrons. He feels sorry for me, I think. No, he likes what I'm doing, so which is lovely. So yeah, he's got a nice collection growing there. But anyway. Getting beside the point. This isn't crying for help, by the way. I'm just saying, I think it's because people have less money and they don't want to fritter it away on paintings done by a fucked wizard. Right, what was the other thing? Yeah, so the other thing to do, I'll swap cameras and I'll show you, I've done a little bit of artwork for this new book that will pop up within the interior. Okay, let's go there. Okay, so here we are, my loves. So this here will be the title page of the book. I know the title page is just flicked past with barely a glance, but I always like to do something a bit interesting, just as the front door, if you will, of the book itself. So in this one, back along, I did a live stream where I was drawing this tankard in the middle. So I've stuck that down there in the middle. And there it is, sitting quite merrily. I've cleaned it up a little bit in Photoshop, but it's pretty much the way I drew it on the day. On the outside here, I've done this kind of decorative border. So to do this, I had a kind of template. I had a template of just to show the depth of the border, and then I just riffed over the top, if you will. So I did these castle turrets, various things around here, some oak leaves, just some doodling really. I had a bit of reference that I used to draw this skull, and I had a reference for the face which I got from a masthead from an old ship. A young woman on the front had a nice face, and I thought I'll draw that because it reminds me of someone that might be in the book. How about that? So there we are, that's the title page. Right, the only other thing to show you is the map. So in my opinion, any fantasy novel needs a map. If it doesn't have a map, it's like, I don't know. I was going to say something naughty then, but I won't. Anyway, you need a map. So I've done a map. And so what I might do over the side there is just show you the initial genesis of this map. So as I was writing the book, I thought I'd just scrawled a little map here and there just to see where places were in relation to one another, because the characters having to walk around. Then I drew it in pen on some heavyweight cartridge paper, and scanned it in. And so really this is a drawing. As you can see, it's a pen drawing here. I've then added the typography in Photoshop, and I've toned the river here just to differentiate it slightly. So the whole of this book is set within a city, a massive sprawling city called Mellowdawn, and it's subdivided into these various districts and quarters. So we have this outer bit here is the kind of the more rough and ready part of the city, if you will. The districts within the interior wall are far better off, and they're beside the palace. And the magisterium is another kind of castle that belongs to the wizards. Yes, this is about wizards. It's about a failed wizard by the name of Tarek Nimblefoot, and he lives in Godric Square. So I got the idea for all these different districts from the book. Was it Michael Smith Marshall, I think it is? No, Michael Marshall Smith. I always get his name wrong. But anyway, his book, Only Forward, had a futuristic city set in quite far in the future, whereby the whole of North America was subdivided into all these different districts, each one having a particular bent upon the way people like to live. So there was one called Colour, for example, whereby colour kind of ruled their daily existence. The sidewalks, the pavements and things would change colour depending on the time of day. People's clothes would change colour. Things like that. And so I just like that idea. So the city is a patchwork of various different places, each with their own distinct reason for existing. Shag. I mean, I've added a lot of these just after the fact. So if there's ever a sequel or sequels, I'll explore these various districts as they come. But so in terms of this particular book, we only go to a few of the different places. Godric Square's where our hero lives. We've got Tardigrade Avenue, which is a bit of a shithole. Spinnet Hill, the City Library. Wimple, that's where some of the magicians live. Solvent is a banking district that features as well. We don't get to see Winnet and we don't get to see Merkin, but you can probably get an idea of what goes on there. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know if I'm going to be heavily influenced by what the district's called. This one here is called Dilly Dilly, and I envisage the people there say Dilly Dilly all the bloody time for no particular reason. So it's quite a mad place to visit. We've also got Ladyfinger, no idea what goes on there. And we also visit Fishtown, which is a kind of harbour-side area that was inspired by where my partner Vanessa grew up in Brixham, a kind of seaside fishing town. And there we are, so that's what I called that. Yeah, okay, there we are, that's the map. Let's leave it there, dear chums. If you want to join me later, please do. And we'll have a merry old time, I'm sure. I might even sniff a book. I mean, it's dedicated to the word wood, and I like to say that whenever we're sniffing books. So hopefully there will be a new book to sniff. I've also got an old Bible that I was given on the day I was christened, when I was a Christian. No longer a Christian, but I don't know if it'd be sacrilegious to sniff that. So I'll ask people at the time. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it might be interesting to see what that smells of. I think it might smell of wood, but who knows? Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio. See you later. Ah, Lord.